Welcome to the mother of all Trade Tuesdays. Yeah, this is a long one. I have no idea how long this video will end up being. Yeah, so this is a 1,000-mile round trip. Yeah, I'm actually going out to see my pal Wayne in Colville, which is near Leicester and basically right next to Castle Donington, where Download Festival and the Monsters of Rock, which I wish they would call it, rather than calling it Downloads. Downloads is a fish name. Was not. The reason for that being, there's other Download festivals, and I think there might actually be one in Australia. There's some in Europe and stuff like that, so it's like a brand thing rather than Castle Donington Monsters of Rock, which you really can only hold at Castle Donington racecourse. Yeah, so I'm going down for a couple of days because Download's been cancelled the last 2 years. We're having Wayne loads, which is basically we're going to go down and hang about in Les Studio, which is Wayne converted his garage into a man cave, and Les Studio is the studio which I believe has just been knocked down in Canada, I think, or Alaska. I think it's Canada, where Rush used to record. I think the Stones did an album there, and I know Zeppelin did. You know, lots of big bands. U2 did one there as well. It was like a sort of one of these. It's almost like a chalet on the edge of a lake. I was going to say loch there, but it'll be a lake if you're in Canada. You know, snow and mountains and stuff like that. So it looked like an absolutely stunning place. So that's why Wayne's named his place Les Studio. So I'm taking down a bootload of guitars. I suppose, and I'm doing some trading. What I think I'm going to end up coming away with is a Washburn A20, which is the stage series. It's early 80s, built by Yamaki. If you've seen my videos, I do have pretty much the rest of the stage series. Originally there was only an A20 and an A10, and there's a 1979 or something like that. The A20 being neck through, ebony fingerboard, brass inlays on the fingerboard, and coil splits. And I actually think it's an A20V I'm getting, which is got a vibrato on it. And then, what happened here was Wayne has been after one for years, and so have I. I've been wanting one that looks the same as mine. I've got an 8-string bass, the B28, so there is a version that looks exactly the same as that, but recently they've been going for $1,000 and stuff like that, and I'm not spending that on a guitar. That's 4 times what I paid for the 8-string bass. I'd rather have the 8-string bass. So I do actually have I've got 2 A10s. A10 being same shape, it's a set neck. Well, I think these days you would call it a set through neck, because the neck does go halfway into the body and there's no heel or anything like that on it. It's not as fancy. It doesn't have a neck, it's just got a rosewood fingerboard, it doesn't have the brass inlays. It's got the same pickups but no coil splits. So I bought an A10 after years of looking for one. I eventually bought one that was absolutely knackered. Someone had stuck a Caller, sorry, that truck nearly went off the road there. Someone had stuck a Japanese Caller in it, and put single coil pickups in it. So it's a white one if you ever see it. And then so I got that back up and running because it was within my price range. And then these things always happened. A month later, I popped an A10 in really good condition. Good condition, maybe not really good condition. Still got some chips and stuff in it, but it had the original pickups and it's blue. It's a stunning guitar, so that's how I got 2 A10s. And then I got up at pal James, which I think I still owe him money for. I'm not sure, he didn't charge me enough money for it. I bought an A5, which is the baby of the range. It came out a little bit later, so I think it's 1983, that one. It's a bolt-on neck, but it's a maple neck, if that makes it all good. So it's red, it's quite a rare one as well, because it's got humbuckers and a sort of Telecaster metal control plate, which most of the other A5s you see have got 2 single coils, and it's a sort of single, you know, and a sort of Telecaster layout. This one's got and it's original, because I looked inside the cavities and you can see that it's still got the original paint on it. So it is, I don't know what was going on. I actually added coil splits to it just because I think the pots were gone. I don't think the pots weren't original anyway, so it didn't really matter. So cheers for that one, James. I think he's actually got a couple of them. He's like, I'll just give you what I paid for it. He's got a spreadsheet. And I think the deal was I gave him the money and I was going to wire up. He's got a, what's it called, an SBF something, which is like a Telecaster with a pointy headstock and no pickups. Well, it's actually an acoustic, but it's solid. It's like a wee bit like an Epiphone Chet Atkins, but it's a really cool looking Telecaster. He's got one of them, but apparently the wiring's not working, so I was going to fix it, and that was probably 2 years ago, and he's never actually dropped off some guitars the other day to fix for him, and I don't think he's found it yet. I think he keeps his guitars in a box in cases under the bed or something like that. So at some point I do still own a wiring of that guitar, which is part of the deal about me buying the A5 off him. Yeah, but anyway, so I've been looking for an A20 for years, and then, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, when I first met Wayne's like, I think getting my ultimate guitar collection, I was like, I really need to get an A20. And I was like, man, I'm after an A20 as well. So there was always a thing about whenever one was going to eventually show up, it was going to be, we wouldn't be fighting over it. We'd be fighting over going, no, you take it, no, you take it, and probably what we'd ended up was neither of us would have got it. You know, both of us being just too nice. But he got one probably about this time last year, maybe a wee bit after that, a black one with gold binding on it, and it was local to him, and he got it for a really good price, and I was like, yeah, well done, you got your A20, fabulous, thinking, you know, on a selfish point that that means that he's no longer after one, which means I'll get the next one. And then just a couple of months later, another one came up, which was even more local, so I think it was about 10 minutes drive away from where I'm going just now, at a good price, and it's black as well. So he ended up with two exactly the same, and eventually I caved, I don't know, a few months ago, and it was like, right, so what is it you want for the A20? And he was like, I knew, he was keeping it for me, he knew I would take it, I was wanting it, even though I didn't mention it for months. It was quite funny. So there's two he's got, and they're not exactly the same. One of them's got I've seen pictures of them. One of them has the V-shaped neck, which I really like, and the other one has a more normal shaped neck, and one of them has like a strap type trem, and one of them has a sort of the Washburn version of a Strat trem, which is like brass saddles, and it kind of looks a bit like who is it that makes them? Is it Goto? It's probably made by Goto. I think is it a Badass bridge? It kind of looks like the Washburn Power Sustain, apart from it's a tremolo. I've got one on two of my guitars. Oh, and that'd be I'm in Scotland. There's now a Welcome to England sign. Never used to be a Welcome to England sign. And if I have a look at try and do this without touching the microphone. So currently, trip 52. I've done more. What's 52 mean? 144. I've been on the road for an hour and 44 minutes. 608 miles left in the tank. I've only done 92 miles, 92.1 miles, and that's me in England. So pretty close to England. Trip distance so far is 81.3 miles to the gallon. That's pretty good. I was thinking if I could get 75 I'd be over the moon. So 81.3 is great if I can keep it there. Just right now I'm getting 123.4. I think 125.1. I've got a funny, I seem to remember not in this car but in the last 127.9 it goes up to 128 at the absolute maximum. That's when you've got the engine off and you're going down a mountain. I think I'm actually in the slipstream of this truck beside me. Does it? Trip 52 MPs. I don't know what that means. That's something else. That's times 110,000 miles, 620 miles. I'm not looking at that anymore anyway. I want the reason, that's why I left it to now, so that I could actually film the crossing the border, however long that might last. I don't know whether there'll end up being a border here or not. But there you go. So I always thought it was like 110 miles to get to England, but it's not. It was only 95 or something I just said there. So if you're looking at, if you're from elsewhere in the world, just Glasgow to Leicester, it's 500 miles. You'll never spell Leicester, just put in Castle Donington and you'll see my fantastic trip. I even, in case my sat-nav failed, which it did last time, I've got my trip written down, and it is get on the M74, which is where I've always, every time I do videos I always seem to be going just onto the M74, which is, I don't know, about 15 minutes away from my house. And then it's 234 miles on the M74, exit 16, and then it's the A500, and that's me. So there's basically 3 junctions or something stupid like that, apart from, you know, on the whole journey. It's actually going quite well. The sun came out a minute ago. Keeps coming up, flashing up yellow rain warnings, which is typical because it's been pure roasted for the last couple of weeks. And then obviously the time I'm going down to go and sleep in a tent is when it's going to chuck it down. I'm not really that bothered. Going to be down for a couple of days. Yeah, so Wayne's got a wee shop, so there might be, I don't know, if we could squeeze in enough time amongst the drinking. I'd like to just drink at night, because this is basically a replacement for downloads. So it's me, Wayne, his pal, or my pal now as well, Peter, who's Slovakian, and Martin, who is, I don't know, Wayne calls him Millionaire Martin. I don't know, I think he owns a big company or something like that, but is he the guy that, I think he said, well, he's the sort of person that, although you're loaded, he'll go to someone's house, and rather than, you know, for the weekend or whatever, and rather than book a hotel, he'll just take a tent and sleep on their lawn, which is fine. I can totally dig that. That's probably why he's got money. I don't know. A lovely guy anyway. So there's the 4 of us getting a bit of a jamboree on the go. The other guitar I think I'll be coming back with is an Aria ZZB or ZZB. No, the B's the bass. I've got a ZZB. The Aria I always talk about. The one that I sold 20 years ago, or 22 years ago, and got back 2 years ago. The turquoise sort of Explorer type thing. That's a bass. Wayne's got a Blade Runner, which is, I think it's about 1985 or 1986. I've talked about this before with those laser guitars I've got. Round about that time, Aria were doing the facelift thing. So rather than bringing in, you know, an entirely new range of guitars, they would just sort of add a couple of bits onto last year's model sort of thing and then call it something cool. So at this time there was a Blade Runner and the Night Warrior and a few like that, and the lasers and stuff like that. So this has a collar on it, like an actual collar, which, to be honest, I'm not really that fussed about. But it is it's a ZZ, and I was always going to buy one eventually. You know, going for the matching guitar and bass sets. It's going to be quite a set. The Aria collection is going to consist of quite a few pairings, because that's me. I've got the laser 1985 laser bass and guitar. I've got the Thor Sound, don't know the number of it, guitar that comes with the TSB, which is Thor Sound bass. So I've got those two. I've got the Rock Device, Diamond Series Rock Device bass and Diamond Series Rock Device guitar. And why do I think there's another one? That's enough. That's 4 collections. Well, then I'll have the ZZB and the ZZB. Lots of fun. Yeah, and to take down with me, I'm kind of, last night, I was up till midnight last night, wiring up the second Pantera. I've got the pink Panther, and there was a red one that someone had tried to paint around the outside of it with spray paint, and I kind of thought there would be a guitar in below it. So my plan with the Panteras was I bought 2 of them, a pink one and a red one, and the plan was to make, like, I got them for a decent price. The plan was to make the best one and make a not so good one out of using the best parts and the not so good parts. You know, one of them would be all original stuff like that, and I was going to sell the good one and keep the cheaper one, which would hopefully end up, I would end up getting the cheaper one for like 100 quid, something like that. And so once now I've cleaned up the red one, it's looking really good, but it's not the Pink Panther. So I think I'll probably keep the pink one. What I have noticed is after I've done all the tea cutting and stuff to get rid of the old paint, some of the spray on paint that someone had put on it, it's a heck of shiny. So I think I'm going to have to tea cut the pink one, because the pink one I thought looked pretty shiny, but when you compare it to the red one, it's not shiny at all. So it needs, I say tea cut, restorative polish is what I've been using. And so my plan, the way I did it was, because I had two, neither of them were working, I had the two of them sitting there not working. My plan was to just bash together as quickly as I could the pink one, which is what I did, made it work, and then I was going to spend a bit more time because I wanted to play it. I also got an original hard case, one original West Tone Pantera case, which I'm going to keep with my one. So I don't know whether Wayne will like it. I think it's one of those guitars, I just think Wayne will really like it. It's his kind of thing. He's got a few guitars that are not a million miles away. A Panda, which I'd never heard of, which is sort of on the same late 80s, I don't know, it's a super strat I suppose, but a little bit more interesting. The Pantera's like, it's a fantastic guitar. Well, the red one, I honestly I don't know, because I literally finished wiring it, spent half an hour trying to find the back plates, because I knew I had them. I totally had them, and they were on top of my stereo. So after I'd searched through all my boxes of parts, so I haven't even really set it up properly, so I might need to do a wee bit of setting up when I'm down there. See if he wants that in some sort of trade against it's a trade for the ZZB maybe. Pantera's worth about 300, the ZZB's not that much. It's going to be an interesting bit of bantering, bit of haggling going on, because I owe him 200 quid, because he said, remember I had a tiger striped Hondo Fame bass. Well, that didn't work. The wiring was all shot and the scratch plate was burst, so he sent it, my Hermes it to me, and the plan was I was going to fix it up. I think I fixed it up with the broken scratch plate, tried to sell it, wouldn't sell, and eventually I managed to acquire a precision based scratch plate, actually off the guy Neon Tetrahedron, from Troon, and I put that on it and then sold it. So I said I would give him the money for that. But again, it's one of those things where I don't really want to make any money from it because my pal, but I did do wiring, I did put another scratch plate on it. And I suppose the scratch plate, even though I got it free, does have a monetary value, so you know, there's tons of grey areas. It's quite difficult haggling with someone you like, when it's like, I basically want both of us to be happy. Yeah, so I owe him a couple hundred quid for that. I could have just sent him money, but I didn't. What else have I got in the book? I've got I've not even got to the bit where he's got a wee shop that's only open on, I think it's Wednesdays and Saturdays, called Guitar Karma. Might have been the same idea. Well, I've got to say, me and him have been talking about Guitarma for a while. It's like, you know, don't screw anyone, and things will work out yourself. Kind of like My Name Is Errol, just stole the idea from that. Kind of run my life a wee bit like that, to be honest. Do nice things happen to you. Maybe, I don't know. I always smile at folk and idle chit chat banter to folk working in supermarkets and stuff, you know. Rather than just being grumpy, you might as well just say something stupid. If you get a sort of smirk or something, it's like, yeah, totally worth it. And then if the whole world worked that way, everything would be better, wouldn't it? Yeah, so he's got a wee shop, so I think it's only open Wednesdays and Saturdays. It started out as, I don't really want to talk about it just now. I'll maybe talk about it on the way back home, because I'm going to do a video. I'm going to kind of interview him, I think, and have like a video of his shop, and we'll talk about the Karma thing and all that. Basically, he buys sort of guitars, kind of like what I do, and just cleans them up and sells them on for a little bit of profit, but not very much. It's kind of the same as me. The point being, selling folk, or maybe kids or people who are just fancying a guitar for like 100 quid or something, it's actually pretty good. You know, there's not anything major wrong with it, you know, like just Squire Strats and stuff like that, which obviously you look on Gumtree and eBay and you can see them for 50 quid all the time, yep, but that one might be absolutely goosed, but it costs you £100 to get it set up. So buying one that's already been set up and that totally works is a good buy. I wouldn't buy guitars off eBay. I would if I didn't know how to fix them. I know how to fix them, so I buy the ones at 40 quid and 50 quid that need £100 of work to them, and then do the £100 of work and sell them for 100 quid. So I'm really shooting myself in the foot. I suppose technically I'm losing money in almost every one I sell. Anyway, I'm taking down the the Iron Brew caster, because Wayne's wanted a, sorry Blitzkrieg shop, there's an advert saying he's the worldwide exclusive distributor of Bad Malcolm guitars, which he is, but I'm selling one, I'm giving one to Wayne to sell in Colville, an Iron Brew one, the Iron Brew Van Halen, partly because the Iron Brew Van Halen is one of those guitars that it doesn't look particularly special, but see when you play it, wow, it's an Indian Sun Mustang or an Encore, but it's the same factory, so it's the same as the Indian Sun Mustangs, which are amazing guitars. It just looks like a cheapy Strat. People go, oh, Encore, you see them? I remember seeing Encores in Argos for 50 quid. Yes, you did. That's true. But 10 years before that, they were made in India and they made them to too high a spec, really. The fact that it's one of those guitars that when you play it, you go, what? This is only 150 quid? Buy it. You know, you compare that to any guitar you could buy now, you're up at 300 quid to get one that's the same easily, and it wouldn't have the extra pickup and wouldn't be Iron Brew colours. I decided not to give my Bucky caster because nobody in Colville's going to know what Bucky is, but they're going to know what Iron Brew is. It's a Van Halen one, yeah, it's a world exclusive. What else have I got in the book? They've also got, well, you can probably see it there, I've got a bass cab that I got. I don't suppose you got a bass cab. I've got a bass cab, so I'm driving down and I can't see out that window because I've got a bass cab sitting in the boot. I've also got 2 or 3 wee 10 watt amps, because I keep getting wee 10 watt amps with guitars I buy, and to be honest, not very many beginners buy guitars off me. It's like most of the people that buy guitars off me have 10, because I've done this. My thing is, I suppose, to put in extra pickups and more sounds and all these things. So someone who's just a beginner goes, oh, it's pretty terrifying the way a Strat's got 5 sounds, I don't want one with 10. Or in the case of the last one, 105 sounds, that big one. I was going to bring that down, I decided not to though. I think I'll probably try and sell that up. Try and sell that when I get back. I think somebody will want that. It's a novelty value, but I mean it does work. It does do 105 sounds. It's like, is it a good idea? Yes, maybe. If you're a studio guitarist and you just, maybe, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it was like the reason it's got so many sounds is because it's the same as like the coil adder one, where I suddenly realised, hold on, if I put a phase switch in, it doubles it. So I was sitting at 55 sounds, and then by adding one push-pull pot, it went up to 105. So that's what I did. You don't need to push-pull the pot, you can get 50 sort of usable ones. But ideally, I'd like to have maybe 2 or 3 of the phased sounds. So there's really 47 extra ones you don't need. And, yeah, I think I might just go to there's the yellow rain warning. At least it might clean the car a bit. Couldn't believe it yesterday. I've not washed this car since I got it. I've had it for a year and a half. But yesterday when I was going out, you know, fill up the petrol, check my tyre pressure, put oil in it and stuff like that, and a bird had shat right in the middle of the windscreen, like totally, exactly right in the middle. And because it was pure roasting hot, they'd obviously, I hadn't noticed this for all day. It was pure baked on. So the car wash had a big massive queue at it. So I went, when I came home, I boiled the kettle, scraped it off with a bit of an old scratch plate actually, and boiling water to scrape off the bird shit. Right, couldn't believe it just happened to be that day. At least it wasn't the morning before I left, I suppose. But now my windscreen's looking really clean because it's getting some proper water on it. Yeah, 25-minute video on the way down. I'm now in England. I might have to come back on and talk a bit more. I've not finished with all the guitars in the boot. What else have I got? The wee Jim Deacon sort of mini Strat. I think that again, the same as the Iron Brew, it's a really, really nice Strat. It's mini. It's like this 24-inch scale as opposed to 25.5-inch, so it is smaller. I think about this one is the body's slightly smaller. It's like 10% smaller, and the body's 10% smaller, and it's got like the coil adder 25 in it. but it's a really nice guitar. Normally when you find mini guitars, the sort of kids ones, they're crap. I'll be honest here, I don't buy them anymore. I've done a couple. There's a couple of Buckycasters and a couple of Iron Brew ones, but see the amount of work it takes to make them play so it's not crap. It's not worth it. Because I mean, even, you know, you buy them for a tenner or something like that, and then spend hours making the thing play, and even at that, even buckied up and stuff, they're only worth 40 quid. It doesn't tie in, but this one is really nice. It's got like a really nice classy, you know, this sort of vintage, like a square classic vibe type neck, where you've got the vintagey orange tint and all that. I can't remember if it's got a maple fingerboard or not, but the neck on it's a stunner. It's got a DiMarzio Super Distortion type pickup in the bridge as well, with a coil adder. I think it does 20 sounds, or the coil adder 25 and the coil adder 10. I can't remember exactly how it works. It's got it's got a 3-way Telecaster switch and a 5-way, so that would be the push-pull pot, right, that would be 25, the coil adder 25. So I'm going to give them that as well, and I think that's me for the boot of guitars. Oh, I got a double neck off my pal recently. He was trying to sell me it for months. I was like, I don't want a kit double neck. I had a kit double neck, like a Gibson style ES 1235, whatever it is, and it was awful. This is the one I bought a few years ago. It was like 50 quid. Like 50 quid for a double neck, I'll take that. And this thing was not worth 50 quid. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours on just to try and make it play at all. It was still rubbish. And I put it on, I did a video. If you look at my videos, I did a video of double neck. One of them will be like a red Gibson one. You know, it had the Gibson branding on the headstock and stuff. And it was just, hated it. It was horrible. So I didn't want a kit guitar. And eventually, the pals like, you know, look, let's swap it for that bass you got. The one which I had, one of my videos where I actually went and I bought it was an advert. I hope I put the advert into the video, but it was actually just crap bass, a tenner. So I had to drive to Edinburgh to get it. So I got a crap bass for a tenner, I got it back and it was crap, the neck was atrocious. So I put another neck on it, and I made it into a fairly decent knee bass, just like a cheap knee bass. It was like, do you want to swap the bass for that double neck? And it's like, I can't say no to that. So I went over and saw him, and as soon as he showed me the double neck, it's like, yeah, just looks like a kit, that's fine. As soon as I played it, it's like, hey, this is amazing, what the? You shouldn't have swapped this. And he's like, yeah. Oops. So I felt a wee bit guilty. Like, he'll watch this video and he'll know now, but I didn't want to just put it up for sale on, you know, Gumtree or something local. That's a wee bit like scalping. I don't like that idea. At least if I'm going to buy a guitar on Gumtree, I'll sell it on Facebook, or if I buy it on Facebook, I'll sell it on Gumtree. There's some logic in there, but again, this is one of those ones that, see, if you play it, it's amazing, because this is the difference with a kit is who built the kit. Was it somebody who knew how to build a guitar, in which case a kit can be really good? Was it somebody who just liked the idea of building a kit, doesn't, you know, someone who can't hold a screwdriver? You end up with a bag of shite, which happens quite a lot with kit guitars. I've maybe had, I don't know, about half a dozen kit guitars in total that I've bought, maybe more than that actually, and every one of them has been an absolute shanner. You know, just, somebody's obviously spent a lot of time trying to, you know, doing the painting and stuff like that, and then they put the frets in the wrong way, or they put the bridge in the wrong place, or they put the neck on at a stupid angle, or, you know, it's like, you see so many kit guitars that it was obviously a 150 quid kit. So it's 150 quid kit. They spent ages painting it and setting it up and building it. They've upgraded the pickups, so it's got, like, you know, Seymour Duncans in it or something. It's got £100 worth of pickups and hardware on it, and it's like 80 quid because the guitar itself is just rubbish. I don't know why it's rubbish. It needs to set up. And it's like, yeah, there's more to building a guitar. It's not like Lego. I've wondered about this loads of times. Possibly, see, if you were buying Warmoth parts or something like that, you know, you're paying a couple £100 for the neck, a couple of £100 for the body, you know, maybe that will just stick together like Lego. Although I wouldn't bet on it. There's just, you know, if you're going to do a kit guitar, don't do that first. Go on to Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace and pick up a Squire with a couple of bits missing or something for 50 quid. You know, so basically something like that big one I've got, and then do that. You know, upgrade the tuners, stick warming pickups in it, something like that. A humbucker in it. Do all these things, and then maybe paint the body. Learn that way. That's much cheaper than a kit. And if you do mess it up, not that you're really going to mess it up, but if you do end up messing up these things, you've still got all the bits that you put on it. So you'll keep the old Squire parts. So buy your Squire or whatever, and then with a bridge missing or a couple of parts, keep them. And then once you've made a mess of that and it's atrocious, take all the good hardware off and sell it, and then sell the Squire that you've made a complete mess of for 20 quid. That's how to do it. Don't start with buying a kit. Right, ran over some now in England. That's actually taken up quite a lot of my time, which is lovely. Actually using this video as a sort of this company, basically, which I kind of do in short videos, short runs, but it's nice coming here. Why is this van going so slowly? I've just realised I've been driving at 50 mile an hour for the last half hour. That's why all these big lorries are overtaking me. I don't know. I wonder if there's something wrong. Maybe he's not early. Or maybe he's very early for something. Yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to say just before I decided to say that, and I can't remember what it was. Music on the journey so far has been, I listened to Gaelic radio for a wee bit, and it had some mad, I almost had no idea what the talking bits were called. We're talking about, there was a couple of sort of tooth-funny music. I really quite enjoyed it until I got into the mountainous bit where the radio disappeared, and then I put on a Neil Young album, which I'm not really sure what it is or why I've got it. It's just a copied CD. It's called Earth. That's the only information I've got. That's disc 2, so it's a 2-disc thing. I think it might be a live album with The Promise of the Real, Willie Nelson's grandkids, I think. There are a few of the guys in it. I saw them live. Last time I saw Neil Young, he was playing with them. They're awesome. And it seems to have new songs on it, live songs on it, and old, a greatest hitsy thing. And it's got animal noises all the way through it, which is quite bizarre. So it's like a live song. There are country homes on it, so and it's got like sort of ducks quacking and cows mooing and stuff. It's quite a surreal thing. I don't really know what it is. Oh, was it a concert? I think it might have been a DVD. The thing about Neil Young is it's so difficult to keep up with Neil Young. He's got an album every year. At least one or I don't know how many albums he's done this year, because he's not been touring. He's probably done about 6. He just does. He's got so many things coming out that it's ridiculous. But see if you were to, I mean, they all come out in vinyl as well. But see, I mean, you'd be hundreds and hundreds of pounds a year just to buy Neil Young vinyl, just to keep up to date. There was a point when I was trying to buy all the Neil Young vinyl, but it's just like I gave up. I do have I bought a psychedelic pill, because it was half price. It should have been 60 quid because it's a triple album or a double album, and I think I got it for 25 or 30 at some discount thing like 2 years after it came out. Also, I really love that album. Yeah, so I don't know when the next time I'll talk to you. I've got my laptop with me, with the webcam and the microphone, and I've got the GoPro, so I can empty the GoPro into the laptop, empty all the shite off the laptop as well. So might even, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. Wayne's organised a tour of Coalville for me. He's going to go and show me places. I might even be doing a video of where the Star Wars factory was, like the Star Wars toys at Palatoy. So that might be interesting. I still keep watching things about folk collecting Star Wars action figures on YouTube. I don't know why. Just when someone's really enthusiastic about something and get caught up with it. There's a couple of guys, that Junkman and Boss's Bounty I've been watching, and they're talking about, you know, modern Star Wars figures. I don't care about them, but I find it quite interesting to watch. I'm never going to buy one. I'm not interested in collecting. I do have I did a video a while ago, but I've still got all my old Star Wars toys, or mine and my 2 wee brothers, in a box in the attic. But all the guns missing because my wee bastard brothers lost them all. I maybe lost quite a lot of them myself. But it's quite interesting. I watch the cartoons and stuff. I've been watching the Bad Batch. It's alright. It's escapism, isn't it? Anyhow, so next time I see you, well, this is Tuesday. This will probably just be the entire Trade Tuesday video on the way down. That's a good idea. So I'll do this one as Trade Tuesday on the way down, and then I'll probably do a video on the way back up. So maybe have that and a couple of Wayne Wednesdays or something like that. A guitar karma. Some way of doing it. My plan was originally I was going to go down. Wayne's also got a ridiculous collection of guitars as well. He's got in the Washburn Wing series. I'm just going to keep talking sort of. I don't know whether I'll be able to do videos of these. It depends how drunk we get, I suppose. How much it works. I mean, I've noticed it was working really well doing the videos with Scott on the second attempt, and it was even better on the third attempt. Yeah, just like you don't know how people are going to react on camera. And I think the first time we did it, Scott wasn't on the camera. The second time, it was like 4 videos or something we did, and he'd never done it before. And then by the time we did the second lot, he'd obviously watched those videos and gone, right, I'm going to talk more, look at the camera more, talk louder, and talk more. So it worked quite well. Actually, the last couple of Scott, the last time I was over, I didn't really get much talking in. He never shut up. So it was kind of like me. I was more interviewing him, which was fine. It was quite funny at the time. I was like kind of trying to get a word in, you know. Hilarious. So I don't know how it worked. But Wayne's got Wing series. Got Wing series I don't have. He's got a Falcon Gold top, which is lovely. I saw that last time. I think it's pretty beat up. He's also got an Eagle Rosewood. So he's got an Eagle that looks like my Falcon. So it's got the Rosewood top on it, and I say top, cap. No, it's an inch thick, solid rosewood at the top, same as my Falcon. It basically looks exactly the same as my Falcon, apart from it's got an extra. The binding has got an extra gold bit in it. So instead of being, I don't know, 3-ply binding or something like that, it's like, you know, black, white, black, or white, black, white. I can't remember exactly what mine is. It's like white, black, gold, white, black, or something like that. So that the difference between that, the Eagle and the Falcon in that year, which is like I think it's 1980 or 1979, 1980, was basically the binding has like an extra layer in it. It's got a gold bit on it. I think there's a gold bit of binding inside the binding on the neck as well, and it had, oh, we don't even know. I think it maybe had metal knobs instead of plastic ones, and the main difference is it's got a scoop on the back, like a belly carve, whatever you call it. That's it. So there's really the difference between, and it's like the price difference was ridiculous. I think the Falcon was about 500 and Eagle was like 750 or something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the difference in price, it was like 1.5 times the price, and basically what you were getting for 1.5 times the price was the exact same guitar, but with an extra scoop on the back, like a bit cut off it, so less of the guitar, and possibly or possibly not metal knobs instead of silver knobs, and a gold line round the binding, which to me doesn't seem worth it. I think that's why there's not very many Rosewood Eagles kicking about. The Rosewood Falcon being the most popular. I think that there's more of the Rosewood Falcon than there are of any of the other Yamaki ones, because it's the best looking guitar in the world. It's like, looks like some sort of antique coffee table thing with a 5-piece neck through and all that. What else has Wayne got that's really interesting I want to see? He's got one. Oh, why not? Keep talking. Right, so have a drink. Yeah, Wayne found out a few years ago, probably three years ago, he got diabetes. It's like, boo, which is bad. It actually worked out quite well for us because at Download Festival, we get into the disabled campsite, so he told me how to inject him with insulin. Basically what I was just there to, if he did collapse or something, I was just going to carry him to the medic tent, you know what I mean? Fair enough. So we got into the disabled camping, which was I think about 1 million times better than normal camping. It's only about 100 yards away from the entrance, and you can take your car up to it. Yeah, but so he got his, he had to take, you know, like prick his finger in his arm or something to get insulin levels or something, whatever it is. So he got just after that he found an Aria ZZ guitar with blood splatters on it, which you see in modern guitars quite a lot. I can't remember who it is that does them, but they did this in 1983, 4, 5, 6, something like that. There's a blood splatter ZZ. So I don't think I've actually seen it. I think I've seen pictures of it. He's actually, I feel slightly sorry for Peter and Martin who are going to be there with us, because Wayne's got about 20 guitars he's going to want to show me, and I want to see. And I thought Peter does play guitar, but he's got like 2. I think he's got, it's quite a nice guitar he's got. He's got a Music Man, quite an expensive Music Man. Again, I keep making the same mistake with Music Man. I did the same to him as I did to my pal T-Gun, Ian. That bit, Music Man neck. See, whenever someone hands me a Music Man, I mean, these things, Ian's one was like $2.5 or something, more than that. I think there's a Steve Lukather model. As soon as you open the neck, oh, this is totally exactly the same as a Westone. And it's like, I need to bite my tongue and not say that next time I get a shot of one, because, you know, you pick up a Westone Spectrum for, now they're £100 something like that. It's like, I'm comparing them like, it feels exactly the same as the one that you just spent $2,000 on. It does feel the same, but I need to bite my tongue and not say that again. Yeah, I think I'll give up talking now and have another sandwich. I might even eat my crisps. They're my favourite. God, they've been in the sun, the crisps, how annoying. Jalapeno cheese, they're pretty good. I'm going to put it on the floor to hopefully cool it down. And I haven't yet worked out what it is I've forgotten. I've obviously forgotten something. Not that there's really anything. I'm not. Anything's really it's going to destroy the weekend. So I had a wee bit of a panic last night. There was no Bucky in Milton Campsie at all. Well, there's only 2 shops, but I was in the shop on. It must have been just. It was Sunday. It was Sunday for my Sunday live stream. I went to the shop to buy Bucky, and the wee girl who was standing behind the counter had a pile of boxes of Bucky that were taller than she was next to her. And that was on Sunday, and then on Tuesday night they didn't have any at all. So they must have gone through 6 boxes of Bucky since Sunday. That's insane. That's like, the guy behind the girl was like, yeah, people here like Bucky. Okay, so I went to the other co-op, which is about 50 metres away, but it's £1 more expensive. They didn't have it. I was like, what? And then I had to go to Kirky. I said to the guy, he only had like, I don't know, 10 bottles left. This is in Margaret's, which is like Bucky capital of Western Scotland, I think. They used to do 2 bottles for £12. I remember that being a deal. That's why my pals used to buy 2 bottles. Right, okay. It's now more expensive than that. And I was like, yeah, there's no Bucky in Milton Campsie. The guy's like, it's a total nightmare. It's like the start of the lockdown again. They're just having problems getting drivers or whatever. Let's not get political, but I think Brexit's now starting to take a wee bit of a bite in a little bit. There's a shortage of just things that aren't really important really just now, because obviously Bucky's not important, it's not medicine and it's not staple foods, but we're just going to start losing, you know, like a steady supply of loads of things like that. Right, I've gone into a political rant, which I'm now going to avoid. It's less than 2 minutes or so, I can leave it at that. I'm in sunny England. It's, to be honest, the first bit of England's quite nice. So, no, it's all nice, it's all lovely. Yeah, I'm not at the boring bit yet. The motorway in England does get a bit boring when you're going down another. Well, let's be honest, motorways are pretty boring anyway, but it's like there's a bit where you go past the Lake District, which I don't think I've actually got to, which is sort of hills and stuff, that's alright, but once you get into the bit where you're going past Manchester and stuff, it's just cities, like, it's a bit bland. I'll just smoke colours of fags and eat more stuff and listen to the other CD of Live Earth. Live Earth, just Earth, by Neil Young. Rocking.